Hi there, button bashers, and I know what you're thinking. Bejeweled? Yeah, I know. Okay, so we're trying something out, actually. This is kind of a new thing. We're on a couch, and we're basically going to play... Well, we're going to have a chat whilst we watch all the Game of Pictures be unlocked. Okay, so I'm playing Bejeweled 2 for a very specific reason. I'll not let these guys know.
I'm Steve, by the way.
I'm Harry.
I'd not let Steve and Harry know what the topic was. We're going to talk about casual games.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest puzzle person, so great choice on the game, by the way.
Speaking of casual games, we are just sort of sat on a sofa chilling. There's no pretext, there's no forcing it.
Yeah.
In fact, Jay is the only one projecting here, so, whatever. So no rock, paper, scissors then?
Oh, sorry, I've started. I've started, so I'll finish.
Which one are we on? Which mode are we on?
This is just classic.
Oh, okay.
I'm someone who's never actually played these games, so I'm not the biggest puzzle games, so do you want to give me a vague idea what's happening?
I got a Link 3.
Oh, okay, so columns.
Yeah, by moving switching adjacent tabs.
But I can't move. Look, if it's if it's not going to make 3. Now, the reason I chose Bejeweled is it's perfect for the topic of classic games. Now,
don't you mean casual games?
Sorry, casual games. Yeah, sorry, stuttering already.
You should get some more of that whiskey down you.
Yeah, more whiskey. It's sort of infamous that casual games, you get your people that are really keen on games. Like they might play a lot of Gears of War or something like that, or Halo, and they sort of look down upon people that play casual games.
Okay, whoa. Terms clarified. What do you mean by casual games? Just to start us off here. What do you
Casual games?
What do you mean? What is a casual game?
A casual game is something that someone might get for their phone or iPad and just play in spare time. They're not really keen on games, but it's something to waste a bit of time with.
Like bus journeys, waiting rooms.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And they're apparently not real gamers or not real games. And
so case in point, I was tattooing a client the other day, and he was just playing a random football manager game. That's a casual game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. There's often
time fillers.
There's often a gap in sort of a line drawn in the sand, if you will, between like hardcore and casual games, or hardcore and casual gamers. It's a demographic thing. It is very much linked with itself.
Is it a binary? Because the term hardcore always kind of makes me feel a bit squick a bit.
Yeah, sort of. I guess me too. And
well, since we designed casual, what is hardcore? What is love?
There's more penises in it.
Baby, don't more penises. Sorry, carry on. What is a hardcore?
Yeah, right.
Game?
So we are outlining terms here. That's a good thing. And hardcore is for gamers that play games all the time, that are really keen on things. Those are pretty much the accepted definitions.
What, they would play for hours at a time, they wouldn't get into it unless they were in it for the long haul,
Well, not even necessarily, not even necessarily that, because you got your competitive games as well, they're considered hardcore games.
Okay.
Like your MOBAs, your multiplayer shooters, and things like that.
Okay, so hardcore splits off into subcategories.
Yeah. Your MMOs as well.
So basically, just you... how can I... Okay, so a casual game is a biscuit, and a hardcore game is a 3-course meal.
That would be a good analogy for me, personally.
Okay, alright.
No, I'm running with this. And, okay, so, the idea of us getting together on a couch and talking games, because we're good at that. We do that when we're not recording serious banter videos, and that's exactly...
serious.
Yeah. Because we is... Oh, derp. Because we is serious business.
When you game over, I'm totally calling the next go, by the way.
That's fine.
You can game over?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can run out of moves.
That's why I thought we were doing the timed one, because...
yeah.
Timed is more game-like to me.
Well,
that's totally what I'm going on.
That's another subject entirely, isn't it?
Yeah, that's totally
but,
what I'm going on when you game over.
So...
What's more game-like? That term there is a loaded statement.
It's just personal to me.
It is loaded.
Personally, I find it more enjoyable and what I find more enjoyable in what I look for in a game, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Now, I chose this topic because we play a lot of games.
No shit.
especially Steve and myself. We would be labelled hardcore gamers because we play a lot of games. We're quite, we get real into them, learn how to play them like really well. I
think I'm definitely more on the casual side.
Which is why you're invited to the couch here.
Yeah, but not necessarily in the terms of mobile biscuit games, I'm just partial to a cheese toasty now and then,
Okay, so what would you define as a casual game in your eyes then, Harry?
Oh, okay. With me is that I don't always like to sort of go out for a meal, but I sometimes do. I don't like to eat, meals, big meals.
So you like portion control, smaller portion?
Well, it's more like a special occasion. I really fancy it for a change. You know?
Okay.
I don't plan my days around games and say I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do this, I'm going to play this for a few hours, or when I get home from work I'm totally looking forward to firing up the Xbox and playing this.
I don't know, World of Tanks though.
Well, see, that's the thing. With me in games, I like to play games. I do like games, but sometimes I don't always feel like it, and my thoughts, a lot of my spare time, my activities I like to do in my spare time doesn't really revolve around games and gaming, which was what I imagine a lot of hardcore gamers do. Personally, that's from my observations.
To be fair, these days I won't consider myself a hardcore gamer. I spend most of my time.
I still play a lot more games than me though.
Yeah.
But taking World of Tanks as an example, I will go through probably a phase of really, really being into a specific game, and it will be all I play for a while. I come home from work and I want to play it, and normally they're quite sort of like short or small sort of things. Like, say, World of Tanks, it's just like you do a match, and then if you feel like it, you do another one, and then you do another one, and that's fun with a group of friends. And same with like my other one recent phase was Geometry Wars. I'd get home from work, or I'd squeeze in like a couple of rounds before I do something. And then that's it. But I play a lot of it. I play little and often. That's me. I don't sit for hours on one game getting really absorbed into a game. I'm like, dive in for an hour and then go away and do something else, and dive in for another hour and then go away and do something else, and then, something like that. So that's, I guess, what I feel where I fit on the casual gaming. And also as well, this isn't a constant thing. It's something that...
Well, it's like anything in life,
I can go for months not touching a game, and then I will play a game every single day for about,
Let's say there's nuances
6 weeks.
to it, isn't there?
Yeah, I go through tides with game. That's the best way to describe it. Me and games, it's for that reason I generally don't describe myself as a gamer, because, it's very hard to pin down what me and games, it's difficult to explain. I don't know if I explain myself very well.
I still ascribe to the term that a gamer is just someone who plays games at some point and enjoys them. They don't have to live them, have to breathe them.
I totally agree with that. It's I find that definition to be more inclusive, and it's for that reason that okay, so are we aware that of the stigma that a lot of gamers attach to so-called casual games?
I have to unfortunately say yes, I do.
I'm not so much, probably because, again, another reason why I don't class myself a gamer, I'm not really absorbed in gaming culture outside of playing video games.
Okay.
I'm not in many games forums or games groups. I don't, aside from you guys and a few other game-related events, my general day-to-day life does not include much games. So no. Short answer, no. No, I'm not really familiar with that.
See, it's sort of... I'm here on the controller playing Bejeweled, and...
yeah, when are you going to game over, bitch?
Yeah, you want to go, because it's a fun game. And this is sort of... things like this and Candy Crush, Match 3 games, they're quite the example, I'll say, when people want to bring up filthy casuals and... apparently the cancer that's ruining gaming, or whatever people are going to say.
See, the way I see it, a game is a game is a game, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, though, to me, this is hardcore as shit.
Because you're chasing scores.
Yeah. It's like, this is very
no frills games. This is like match 3, get points, and if you don't do well enough, game over, start again.
This is Jay's way of basically saying, Evo, we want a Bejeweled tournament.
not quite, but
that would be cool though.
you can get good at this. You know, this is the kind of game that.
Oh yeah, because my high score still beats your score, which is a rare thing.
You're the casual gamer, and yet you hold the high score on a game.
You beat it once, but then I beat it back.
Yeah, that's true. I am quite competitive, but yeah, and I love how elegant that is in a way that you've got this score attack game that has appealed to so many people. You know, and I've mentioned stuff like Candy Crush.
Wasn't Tetris the original casual game, do you think?
Pong kind of was.
Oh, right, I mean, like, with the huge demographic, it appealed to so many people. So.
Tetris was the Candy Crush or Bejeweled of its day.
God, can you imagine, definitely. Like, in the early 90s and, like, the late 80s, early 90s, and people are walking around with, like, Game Boys, well, maybe not late 80s, but they're walking around with Game Boys and Tetris, and, like, they're going to work, and, like...
people would play the Game Boy on the bus.
Yeah, like, instead of a smartphone.
Yeah.
You know, I can see, but at the same time, that seems a bit... Unlikely.
They're waiting for an appointment at the dentist, so they pull out the Game Boy in the waiting room while they wait for the name to be called.
Yeah, sadly that didn't happen back when, but would have been nice.
I mean, you got like Snake on the mobile phones in the 90s, though.
Oh, Snake was definitely casual game fun.
Why it didn't happen is because games hadn't really infiltrated culture like they have, popular culture like they have now. Which is why you get, the more casual gamers, because it's become quite acceptable to do it and be seen doing it. Unlike, say, the 90s, Tetris, it's an 80s thing, but over here in the UK, it really only took off in the early 90s. And it was still sort of a very nerdy thing to be seen playing games.
Oh, no, we had Games Master.
But I don't really remember that. But then in the 90s, I was very, very young, so I probably wasn't aware enough of the world around me to,
Harry was small.
I think part of the stigma against sort of casual games might be that gamers that have been here a while, they sort of had to fight, they put up with the slings and arrows, so to speak, of mockery for doing this thing, and all of a sudden it's like,
I have another thing as well.
Folk just do it, and it's like, well, they're not getting mocked for it. This isn't fair. They must be inferior somehow, bloody casuals.
Yeah, I have another thought why that be. I don't know what it was like in America, and certainly don't really remember the 90s all that well. But for the longest time growing up, to me, video games was associated with games, kids' toys.
Mm.
And so any adult playing games seemed a bit strange. Again, I don't know how true this was. This was the filter of, from being between, 9 and 16 years old, I didn't know of any adults, or many adults, that played games. To me, it was all kids that did it, so I guess it was something I thought people grew out of, and so you didn't see people out and about doing it much, because it was a kids thing. Why would adults do a kids thing? I don't know, it's just a thought. I don't know.
No, I think that there's a similar sort of cultural perception there, as there has been for a long time with, say, animation.
Oh, we could rant about that.
Yeah, but these days it's like anime and things like that have kind of took centre stage, haven't they, to a degree? And,
you are preaching to the converter, both Harry and I, at university.
We wrote dissertations on this subject.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about anime.
We didn't know, but separately we both came to the same conclusion of what would be a good dissertation to write, and that's sort of the
analysing why animation is seen to many as for kids and not, something only kids can enjoy.
Well, the rise of Saturday morning cartoon shows in Disney, I'd imagine, would be what set the stereotype in motion, but it's probably changed over time. This feels more like we might as well have done a podcast, but we've got a nice visual, colourful background for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, give us a go.
Probably,
you're not game over yet.
Because I'm going to go home and use this practice to beat your score.
You said you were going to pass the controller. It kind of only works when you game over.
Okay, I'll try my hardest not to try.
See, I don't know what I'd classify as a casual gamer, because to me it's just like, this is just... I'm not the biggest on puzzle matching games anyway, so I have no real opinion on them. I don't feel particularly belittled by people playing it or anything like
in
that.
the other room, you like to do Red Alert to unwind and chill. Would you say that's your
Casual game? Yeah, it could be. I literally don't.
It's not puzzler, but it's something you go into now and then just to unwind. I imagine that they're generally quite bite-sized.
They can be.
Sit hours doing many matches.
That's the beauty of strategy games, though. If you know what you're doing, you can annihilate them in seconds, or you can take your time, build a really nice base, and then crush them in seconds at your will.
So here's the thing, though: if you're drawing that line in the sand and saying that, like, a casual game or a casual gamer is just
someone who enjoys games piecemeal,
just done in small chunks, then me who speedruns Sonic in like under 25 minutes, me who has beaten Doom on Nightmare, I'm probably the most casual gamer I know.
How much time have you invested?
That's the thing. I really love bite-sized sort of gaming, but it's like you say little and often. I'm little and very fucking often.
Yeah, seriously.
You also got to put in the amount of time you've learning all these mechanics, all these little tricks, all these little stunts that make it, and do it all the time. That's a lot more intricate brain power than
And when you are not playing games, you're either thinking about games, thinking about playing games, thinking about making games, or talking about games with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Gaming is a very core part of you, whereas with me, it really isn't.
And that's why Harry's on Firebutton.
Why am I here?
It's kind of a good thing that
varied personalities.
Yeah, well, that sort of as a medium, as an entertainment medium, and this is one of the reasons I really like it, and why I'm so into games is because.
Okay, you keep ignoring 4 in a row. Just you suck at this game.
Harry can't play.
Okay, you don't suck. It's just
Harry can't play first hand, so now he's playing backseat.
Sorry,
clearly.
This game is actually one I used to play a lot. Not Bejeweled, but this exact mechanic. Only it was timer based. But the adjacent Slile Connect 4 things. I remember playing a version of this called Sutek's Tomb on Neopets from the age of about 11 onwards.
Fucking Neopets.
I know. So I was actually quite excited that this game sort of exists. Game over. Mine.
That anecdote will be drowned forever for Harry now gets to play with the controller.
This pad is huge. I won't go on action. I'll go on classic because it's my turn now. What's going on?
The stick's probably knackered.
Oh.
Moo.
But yeah, so it's one of those that I used to play. I guess in quotation marks. There is stick drift going on here. It's very strange.
Try using the D-pad instead. I would suggest if you can. I've never played this game, so I'm assuming you can. But
I was using D-pad.
Gotcha. But yeah. So it's something that. This kind of game is not new, but going back to the sort of casual thing, when I first discovered the internet in my, tweens, that Neopets, for example, as a plethora of.
You missed a 4 in a row there.
Oh, thank you. I'm also trying to talk, and I am shit at multitasking.
I was trying to talk.
Yeah, but you're better at multitasking. What's this? Oh, yeah, no. When I play games and I'm doing something else, I'm better.
When people talk of hardcore gamer culture, right? Shit talking just then. That's what I consider. Doesn't matter what game you play. If you can shit talk people while doing it, how good is your shit talking game? That determines whether you're hardcore.
Yeah. So I was just sort of speaking highly of the accessibility. The fact that there are games for people who don't play much, but I actually do like the sort of hardcore mentality. As I say, speedrunner, score attacker. Well. There's this particularly obnoxious fan base. I'm not going to mention names, but let's just call them the Dark Souls fan base.
Oh, right!
Right, and if you suck at this, I've just made up the name Dark Souls to explain...
It's not actually the Dark Souls fan base for folks get upset.
It's to explain an imaginary game that doesn't exist, and an imaginary fan base. But if you suck at this imaginary Dark Souls game, and if there turns out to be a Dark Souls, a game called Dark Souls, I'm in a lot of trouble here.
Hey, I like Dark Souls, and I like the community.
Shut up!
Explain what you
mean.
Let
me run with the idea.
Explain what you mean, because I'm not familiar with this Dark Souls mentality.
So it's difficult.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'm dropping the
This
pretense that I made-
hypothetical game.
Yeah, alright. A hypothetical game called Dark Souls that's difficult.
Right, gotcha.
And, so obviously people are trying to get into it and failing quite miserably and complaining
I'm
that,
sucking. I think
that the
I've had
game
too much brandy.
is really bad.
Don't
Because they suck at it. Well, the obnoxious part is the people that will just say, "Git good." That's GIT space GUD. Get
That
good.
was fighting game.
So get good culture.
Yeah.
I'm sucking, Jay. This doesn't happen.
It's kind of weird because although I don't really believe
Oh, there we go.
the best idea to incentivize people to get better at games is to get good, I do like the idea that it's a thing you can do. That you can get better at these things. That you can get good.
I see. I always like it when a gaming community like that they're pulling together to learn things, or they're trying to extract and figure out how you do this, how you do that. When there's like a new game, for example, when you see a new Dark Souls game, the hypothetical Dark Souls we'll go with, and the community don't know what's up yet, they don't know what, they don't know how to do this and how to do that, and you can see them like, you go on forums and things, and they're picking it apart, trying to figure out strategies and
the
things.
best thing is like week after release, and it's kicking everybody's ass, and somebody finds a trick with a bizarre kind of armor that seems weak, but
What the sort of
or whatever.
schoolyard? There's this thing. How can we beat it?
Yeah,
Let's,
that.
Oh, the sharing part of
Water
this
cooler
culture.
mentality.
Yeah.
When you're like,
I really
wow.
suck. Yeah, I concede. Okay, I've been drinking, and it's easier to do it when you're backseat gaming.
But no, just when you're working together and you're trying to like, how do we figure out this thing, dude? I don't know. Let's do
Follow the
this.
row at the bottom.
I saw
Do
that.
it. Follow the row there. Do it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm way better when I'm not in control. Sorry, carry on.
I've lost my train of thought now.
Right, the schoolyard, the sharing,
The
figuring out.
water cooler.
Yeah, when people like just auto, they find a bit of downtime when they're doing their 9 to 5 or whatever, and they're like, so you tried this new game? Yeah, I'm stuck. How do I do it? I'm not sure. I'll let you know. Following day. Hey, Jerry, how do you do it? Well, it turns out if you take the staff and rub it right up his fucking ass.
Sort of like how when we were doing Myst and we'd be going away and not playing Myst, but thinking, I've been thinking maybe next time we should try this, and if that doesn't work, try this. And
Or crying at the horrible submarine controls, yes.
yes.
Although that was kind of beautiful.
Four in a row at the side.
Oh, I see.
I mean, anyone else ever had that kind of experience? A new game and you're in a small community and they're trying to like piece it apart. This is why I wanted to do a Firebutton forum way back when, to be fair.
When Castlevania, what's it called? Aria of Sorrow first dropped, there was a lot of buzz about that because
Orange one. It was pointing at it. Next to the red shiny one. Oh, above the red shiny
Gotcha,
one.
yeah. When Castlevania Aria of Sorrow dropped, there was a bit of kerfuffle about that because there's a bad ending and then you got to do something specific and there's a good ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but your main character's Dracula.
We have done a playthrough, by the way.
No, we haven't.
Oh.
Not Aria of Sorrow.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking...
Anyway, you got to do something very specific to find this thing out, and I like the fact that sort of there was a lot of people attempting to be spoiler free and say you're given hints from the books, or it's like kind of you got to use certain saws that completely telegraph the ending, sort of thing, but I liked some of the buzz about it, and especially the fact that the game's storyline references an event that never happened in the games. It's sort of like between games.
The Battle of 1999.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, the Dracula Wars, the Demon Castle Dracula Wars, and it's like there was sort of a lot of speculation and getting together about that, which was kind of good.
And then they killed Castlevania like they've killed Silent Hill.
The whole thing, like when a new game is out and people are discussing strategies and ideas to beat it because it's all new and no one's done it before, I can't say I've actually experienced that much, if at all.
I'd say if anywhere these days you want to look at a newer adventure or puzzle game that might be built around being a bit difficult,
Well,
and then like Twitch and things, because then they'll have a community there trying to figure out why one person drives.
But the thing is, I've always come to games second-hand, often years after they've been released. I've always been traditionally quite late to the party with these things. So, I guess, in a way, because I've never had that, current, everyone's doing this thing, everyone's playing this thing, it's new, and everyone, that sense of community, sort of like trying to work it out, I guess that, to me, has been always quite a solitary thing, so it has been, I guess, remained quite casual in that way because it hasn't. You know, I don't know. If I got stuck with something, there was already like walkthroughs or hints or whatever. You know, it's nothing I could discuss with people like it was new.
So I'm assuming outside of Firebutton, you don't talk games with anybody, right? You don't really.
Very rarely.
Yeah, it's like it's more of a personal thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say I can see that. I mean, the only other really big example I think of like gaming communities picking stuff apart is probably your ARGs or when stuff's particularly mysterious. Like, you know, when
the closest I've come is Five Nights at Freddy's, but even that, you know, was never.
That was more dissecting the lore and trying to figure out the mystery.
Well, not necessarily the lore, but I like sort of like interpretation and headcanons. You know, I like that sort of thing. Maybe this is such and such because this happened. You know, I guess story-wise, I think that's probably the closest I've come. But
it's still a game.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying, you know, and I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but like I say, it's something I've never really experienced much of.
Jay's in like trance mode now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I told him he sucked, and now he's getting good.
Yeah.
Getting good.
What about you viewers? Have you got any particular opinions? By all means, sound off in the comments and then I might reply to you if I'm feeling generous.
Yeah,
no, I'll have a look at the comments. I'm not mean.
You know, let us know what you thought of this sort of like casual sofa chill out section topic. You know,
next time we might play that Dark Souls game and talk about sandwich making as opposed to I don't know.
I think there's definitely sort of a lot of, I don't know, room to explore the topic of sort of what makes a game, you know, what really makes a game casual. I you know, sort of think if it's very heavily score based and you can put some strategy into it, then it sort of isn't quite as casual as labelled. But Harry thinks that if it's something that really suits
small bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, bite-sized chunks, then it totally is.
Yeah, something to slip in between other important shit.
It's like finding that work-life balance and then trying to figure out how much time you can invest in learning the mechanics maybe dictates whether it's hardcore or not to a degree.
I think once games start becoming into hobby territory, it's no longer casual.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a nice enough place to round out the episode, right?
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
so Button Bashers,
Sound off in the comments.
definitely let us know. Are you a hardcore gamer? Are you a casual gamer? Do you not actually class yourself as any? And what do you think to the definition
let's get
between
some
one and the
discussion.
other?
And keep it friendly.
Yeah, it's YouTube. I don't know about that. See you
Just
later,
in
guys.
general.
Bye.
See ya.